This is a movement guide for the Vindicta. I'll release my full ramming guide soon, maybe, if they don't nerf ram at Steam release. This video is not about the basics on how to fly ships in Dreadnought. If you're a new player, ignore this and go play the tutorial, then maybe come back in 2 years. That's about how long it'll take you to grind to the stuff I'll be talking about in here. Alright, let's go. Vindicta is the fastest non-corvette ship in the game.
Is it though?
Who cares, it's actually not that fast. Barely fast enough to do what it's supposed to do. Don't tell anyone, because they'll get the devs to nerf the speed even more. Point is, Vindicta is kinda fast, but still slow and heavy enough to be able to do some stuff other ships can't do, or just don't have any use for. You'll need 3 things: the speed boost module, the perk called Engine Rigger, and of course, the RAM. You can technically go with either speed boost or Engine Rigger, but just go with both, unless you really know what the fuck you're doing. First, some terminology for the class. I will be using actual words instead of W, S, A, D, etc., so it's easier to understand and the console peasants can maybe make sense of this too. So W is forward, S is back, A and D is sideways, spacebar is up and shift is down. Also PTE is when you set your energy to engines, SB is the speed boost module in the 4th slot, and neutral is when you're not using PTE or SB. Vindicta's turn speed is hysterically bad, but you can turn up to 180 degrees by sticking your butt in a wall at an angle, like this. Make sure you keep back pressed, and as you hit the wall, add the sideways direction in which you're turning. When you're satisfied with the turn, release back and press forward to detach from the wall. You can turn over 180 degrees easily if there's a corner. It's much faster too. It works exactly the same, though obviously you have to keep back and sideways directions pressed for longer to complete the turn. Sit your butt down on a ledge when ramming people trying to hide behind and below it. It will make your ship sort of trip over and point your nose down, which makes ramming them easier. You can do it easily by putting your nose against the wall and then pressing forward and down. Best do this with PTE. Doing this in neutral is too slow and sometimes not even enough to get you completely vertical. In most situations, a neutral down input will hold you in place, but if the wall surface is uneven, then you might slip and reorient back to normal. Adding forward should stabilize you most of the time, but if you keep slipping, you might want to add in a sideways direction opposite to the direction you feel you're slipping. Thankfully, reorienting your ship doesn't fuck with the module, so you can fire your storms and other shit without a problem. Firing weapons around the ship is also possible, but not behind the ship, because technically that's above the ship. You can also catapult yourself up for some really nice speed and altitude. Whatever the game's physics do to level you out from a vertical state, it actually gives you more speed. With this you can do some really anime shit. One, jam your butt into a wall. 2, hold back and up to start lifting your nose. You can do it from a stationary position or from a run-up, doesn't matter. It doesn't work on all terrain though, some geometry is too smooth and your rear will just slide up instead of jamming in place. 3. Before you tip over, release back and up and press forward. You will launch upward and then level out in the direction you're facing. You can add an up input to get more altitude. Use this to get to people up high, like this guy. Here's where it gets tricky, but also really fucking cool. If you continue lifting your nose, eventually you'll tip over backwards. Unfortunately, this is a little inconsistent. Depending on the terrain and angle, it's not always possible to completely go past 90 degrees. I found low obstacles work best, but anchoring under some horizontal ledges does the trick too. So once your nose has just gone past 90 degrees, if you press forward, sideways and up all at the same time, you will launch upward and sideways in an arc that will eventually level out facing in the opposite direction. What happens if you launch after you completely lie down on terrain? Well, most times you won't even get there. The times you do, you can technically fly upside down for a bit, but the camera is locked above the ship so you can't see shit and the flight path is virtually uncontrollable. All modules come out topside as well, so the only real use of this would be to kill yourself, I guess. Okay then, let's get some more cancer. Well, that's it. If you've gotten this far, you must really like Dreadnought. Watch my ramming guide if I ever put it out. If you see me in a match, don't look below. I'm not gonna be there trying to do any of this shit.